Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Super Lady Hero Hour here on FANVERSATION. I am Yael Tygiel. I'm joined as always by Kay-B. Hello, Kay-B.
Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited. Today we are talking about Thunder Force, the
Yes,
new
Thunder
movie on
Force.
Netflix. I'm so stoked. Look at that. Made a little banner.
Listen, Thunder Force just dropped today, so this is your spoiler warning. We're going to spoil everything. We're going to give our review. We're going to give our honest opinions. If you have not watched yet, because it was released at 3 a.m. Eastern, midnight PT. So maybe you've been busy, but come back and watch this review after you've seen the film. So that way, you are not spoiled by what we are about to share. So, Yael, you have been waiting on this for what feels like decades for you, I think. So how did you feel about Thunder Force?
Honestly, I've been waiting for 2 years for this movie and I loved it. This is the beginning of a franchise. I've decided there is no word on whether there will be more of these, but I 100% want more of these. This is such a cute concept. It's such a fun twist on the superhero story. I loved it. And of course, Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer are fantastic. What about you? I know you were not very excited to begin with.
It wasn't that I wasn't excited. I just didn't know anything about it. Like I'd only seen like one or two things. So I was just kind of like, oh, okay, cool. But it really pleasantly surprised me. I thought it was really funny at all of the right moments. I think it also had heart. Clearly there was action. My hope, if this is to fulfill Yell's dream of becoming a franchise, I'm gonna need a better car because I'm like, listen, I love that purple Lamborghini. It is sick, but it is not functional. And so it's like, which is to make fun of all of the superhero cars in every single film franchise because they're never functional. But I want my girls to glide and thrive. But I love that there is a heavy STEM aspect. It's great to have the science, the idea of these miscreants just going around the city of Chicago, kind of doing what they want to do with their powers and working for, the mayor at the time. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm really kind of digging this. So I do also want to say that man, I am a huge Isley Brothers fan, and I thought Voyage to Atlantis was quite frankly the perfect song to put with the Claw and at the dinner scene, after the Claw has broken this glass, shattered this glass. And then heard the dinner specials, which all included, his half crustacean friend since he's half Creant. So I was like, this is peak comedy for me. So yeah, I had a super fun time. So what were some of your favorite moments in the film?
Honestly, I think the entire explanation of, you thought I was going to say the entire film, the entire explanation of how people got powers, who got powers, I loved that. It's such a fun idea that this gene that was triggered was just in psychopaths. Like, I think that's such a fun twist that people who got powers happen to all be evil. We don't really see that. That's not something we're used to, and I like that twist. I also love the entire lead up of the story of these friends. I have to give a shout out to the younger Melissa McCarthy's, one of which played by her daughter, which made sense. But the younger Lydia's as they grew up was so impressive because I saw Melissa McCarthy in both the actors. Octavia, I would say less so, but I think that they still were fantastic. And I do love this story having to do with STEM. I think that's so wonderful. I love the friendship and reading more about, this movie, of course, being written and directed by Ben Falcone, husband to Melissa McCarthy. He based Lydia and Emily on the characters, on the people themselves, right? So he was inspired by Octavia and Melissa and their friendship. And I think that's so beautiful. Like, in addition to it's an action movie and it's funny, it's such a beautiful story about an actual friendship. I really enjoyed the action was super fun. The humor to me was similar to Barb and Star Visit Vista Del Mar, which
I have not seen that.
But I think a lot of people were really into that weird comedy.
Like quirky.
Yeah, quirky, like out of place. And that's not my type of comedy. I'm also not a physical comedy person.
Okay.
And I know that Melissa McCarthy loves physical comedy. And you can tell that because her husband wrote her this movie. So if she didn't enjoy physical comedy, it wouldn't be there. And there's so much of it.
Yes, absolutely. I actually adored the younger versions of Emily Octavia Spencer's character. I thought that she was brilliant and very, kind of headstrong, set in her ways. I thought it really set the tone for Emily as a character. I loved the dynamic between the two of them. To your point, their friendship was just so extraordinary in this film, and even how they become friends, because Lydia does have such a pure heart. Everything that she's doing, her intentions are really just to bring Emily out of her shell, make sure Emily's having fun, because she knows that Emily's going to take over the world. It's like never a question between the two of them. She knows that she's brilliant enough to go after and achieve every single dream that she has in the world. But the difference is she just wants her to also enjoy life. And so I love that when, they go to Emily's grandmother's house, she's like, oh, I thought you guys were going to tell me that you're a couple. And then she gets really upset and it's like, you guys didn't even try. Like, I'm so mad that you're not a couple. And then you didn't even try to be after I suggested it and bought this, wedding cake topper for you guys. And I just love that, Lydia's character is like, which one am I? And she was like, now girl.
I agree.
I loved it.
That scene is one of my absolute favorites. The family dynamic of these two women is so fun. It kind of made me wonder about Lydia's family, because we do not see them. I assume we'll see them in the sequel, but I'm pushing for it because I want it so bad. But yeah, that scene is one of my favorites. It also, I think, honestly was necessary, because I feel like if it hadn't happened at the end of this movie, that could have been a consideration.
So I actually don't think that we'll see Lydia's family. I think that's the point. I think the point is for Lydia to be a loner. Like, I think the idea is that, we don't really see how she grew up, and we don't really see her with any other friends or any other people. Even after her and Emily kind of fall out during that 20-year period that they're apart, we only see her, at the diner, and mostly by herself. She's not engaging with coworkers very frequently. She's kind of by herself. So, to your point, if the sequel does happen, I think her relationship with the Claw might progress, and they kind of have their own family that is alongside Emily's family, because I think that also, like, she went into the friendship just thinking, oh, great, I'm going to get a new friend in Emily, but also found a family. And so I do also love the relationship that Lydia has with Tracy. So I think Taylor Mosby does a great job of being Emily's, daughter, and kind of having that same struggle of, she's a teenager, and, she has there's a lot of contention, because she is still young and she still wants to have fun, which Lydia is always trying to get her to do. But, her mother is very kind of rooted in fear and very serious, and always is like, okay, well, you have to work hard, you have to study. So I loved when she got powers. It definitely wasn't a surprise for me. Like, I feel like nothing in the film was shocking or a surprise, but I still enjoyed myself. So it wasn't a surprise. I expected her to. I didn't expect her to be a speedster, but I do love that for her, because it allows her to kind of let loose and blow off some steam. But I do also just love that her and Lydia kind of have their own relationship apart from the relationship between Lydia and Emily.
Absolutely. Tracy is definitely one of the best parts of this film. In all scenes, she's so amazing and fun. And I do like that essentially she has another mom now. She has, her cool Aunt Lydia.
Which would be grandma's real dream.
Yeah.
If she, actually had a second mom. And I have to apologize. I keep calling him the Claw. I mean the Crab.
The Crab.
Mostly because I keep thinking of the claws, because when the king pulled off the claws, I screams, because I was not expecting it. And I knew that there wouldn't be blood, essentially, but just the way I also, in a very odd way, was hungry. And I was like, oh my God, that's shocking. But I love crab claws. And I'm kind of hungry now. It was just a very weird set of things. But I think that Jason Bateman, who is truly a fool in this film. That's all I can say. Like the way he saunters like a crab around,
Yes.
I was dying. I was like, what is happening?
Honestly, this group, you see it. You see that these are people who are friends in real life.
Friends.
They are family
Yes.
in real life. And so they just wanted to play together. And I absolutely love that. I want to talk a little bit about Melissa Leo's Allie, who it was clear that she was going to betray them.
Yes, very.
That was that one, and Tracy getting powers. Neither of those were surprises. But still really fun. So fun.
I will say, I also, I enjoyed Laser for who she is. I think that like she is definitely a spoof on these types of villains like that we've seen thus far. And I love that like one of the best scenes is really when the King and Laser show up to like the Thunder Force headquarters, aka Emily Stanton's building, because she's a boss. And they show up to the headquarters and they're just repeating the same line. And she's just standing there like staring. And I was like, what is this? Like, it was all in good fun. Like you could tell that every single actor was mostly just having fun because it was the most ridiculous thing. And I enjoyed that part of it. I mean, I like that they are lighthearted and to your point, friends that are family and are just creating this ridiculous, fun film based in the superhero world. And also, I will say something that I liked aesthetically that Ben did. I love the like comic book feel in between, like, when they're going through certain scenes and they're doing like when they were doing the training and it's like day one, I liked that it was truly in comic book style. I thought that was a really nice touch.
I agree. I also like the way it starts with like comic booky. I'm like, great. Okay. You've set the tone. Like this is
like
fun.
An origin.
Yeah. And it really is such a fun way. It kind of feels like he went, look, I know you get a lot of superhero movies. This is just a fun one. Don't take it too seriously. Just have a good time. But with the way that it ends, it is set up to have a sequel. I'm telling you, we have 3 people with powers. They make a deal with the mayor that they're going to do it officially. Lydia
and Laser is still on the loose. Laser is still on the loose, so we don't know.
And there are other miscreants. Like there's still other miscreants. And of course, Lydia and the Crab are together, and they whatever may happen with them. I love the fact that. Because as we know, if we've seen our show before, I hold grudges. And I like that the Crab, being a half-creant, like, is not a bad guy, just fell into like bad stuff and doesn't want to and has a good heart. And so he can be part of the super team.
I mean, to be fair, he has like the worst origin story. Like you're on vacation with your girlfriend and then, a radioactive crustacean attacks you and your genitals. That's like the worst. Like, that is terrible. I'm like, oh my gosh, I see why you are still kind of like half good, half bad. Cause I mean, it's just like, man, I really didn't actually ask for this. And here we are. My goodness.
Let's talk a little bit about the powers, because originally Emily was supposed to receive both super strength and invisibility. Seeing her once she is invisible, it's like she didn't think it through. Like she was never going to be the one who walks into a fight and punches people. Like we do eventually see her start fighting in the last big battle, but she was never going, like, I don't know why she thought that even if she had super strength and invisibility, she personally would be more bold. Like, if I could fly, I still have a fear of heights. You know what I mean? Like, if all of a sudden now I could fly, I'm going to fly real low because I have a fear of heights.
I think that she thought she would be emboldened by it, which actually makes sense to me. Like she was thinking the powers would give her the courage to be able to not only go invisible, but punch someone while invisible as well, which I think the combination of the powers together would have been great. I wish that Emily just would have gotten something else. Like I wish it was kind of a 2-for-1 dose, like for Lydia. Emily would have done something else. And then I do think it's perfect that Tracy has super speed. Just only because like, yeah, she has a taser, but also she needs a real weapon. Like if things are getting serious, like they came to that fight with guns and girl, all you do is turn into a ghost. Like, I don't know if that's not really effective. And so
also
you have
the loudest
taser.
ghost.
Yes,
The loudest.
yes. Like everyone knows where you are. And so it's like you have this taser, but the taser is kind of unstable. Like I kind of feel like I want her to get upgraded weapons if there should be a sequel. I think that would be what I would push for, because we know Lydia is kind of the brawn at this point, like she's the muscle. And Tracy's a super speed. I just think that there needs to be something that goes in addition to the invisibility, because I mean, really, she's like Casper. Like Casper's friendly. Like she's just mad friendly, and she goes invisible, and it's just like, okay. So I get that she's the brains behind the operation, so that's cool too. But she can't do both, right? Like she can't be the Overwatch character and physically fight. Like you gotta pick one. So you create a super weapon for yourself that's like, a lot better. I feel like you can create anything, literally, because you created this. So like,
right.
Give yourself something else. And also, while we're at it, can we create something where Lydia does not have to eat that raw chicken? Because that was so gross to me. And I understand that's her thing with her boo, the crab, but like, I was like, I am tired of seeing Lydia eat this raw chicken. Like it just, oh my gosh.
The raw chicken thing was absolutely disgusting. I have to give them props for making it look so real.
Yes.
For those who are wondering, it was a pear. It was sliced pears. But like it looked so real.
It looks like slimy chicken straight out of the container, like out of the pack from the grocery store. That's exactly what it looked like. So yes, shout out to, I don't know, special effects, whatever. I don't even know who handled
the props team.
Shout out to them. Yes, because I was like, this looks disgusting.
Yeah. I absolutely loved it. Let's talk a little bit about the costuming, because I really love these super suits that they're wearing. I love that it's functional. It fits them. It's, it's sleek and sexy while being functional, which is something that we ask for in super suits all the time. And it's the coloring that it was really nice, specifically because, there is a chance in a movie like this that is so wild to have a bold costume that like is hilarious and you can't take them seriously. But I think them already aren't being taken serious as these older women. So I love that these costumes made sense in this story.
Yeah, I mean, I think the costumes are fine. My biggest pet peeve will always be women with their hair down in super suits.
Yes.
And like Laser had a ponytail and I was like, finally, like, thank you. Like you have a ponytail. This is functional. It works. But the way Lydia's hair kept getting flown everywhere, because again, you have super strength. So you're like fighting a lot more and the hair is just, and I was like, okay, now guys, now we need a ponytail holder. We need something. Like it is just getting out of control.
You make me so happy right now. I complain about this all the time.
But like, it's super obvious too, because of the way that this film is shot. There's a lot of Melissa McCarthy, like, woo, and you can just see the hair flying. And I'm like, no. So like this was our opportunity to have it in a ponytail. So that would be my case for the next one, because pretty much all of them have their hair down. And I'm like, we do not want this. Put the hair up. That is what we want. That is what we want. But the suits otherwise were fine. I just think the car's not functional. Listen, I love a big truck. Let's get a truck. Let's make some noise. I mean, let's do something.
I like Laser's truck. I want to understand like who drives Laser's truck. I want more about Laser's team, because she works with other people. They have to drive her around because she's always in the back of the truck.
Listen, I don't know. I feel like Laser's team are the king's henchmen. Like they're always on a mission for the king. So whoever's driving is probably one of the many henchmen that the king just murders out of nowhere and then asks for a request later on. And people are like, yeah, you killed so-and-so. And then he's like, oh God, did I? So it's like one of those things where I think that she's being driven around by like his henchmen. But now that he's in custody and in jail, maybe if there is a sequel, she will kind of become the head miscreant. She'll need some brains behind her operation, just kind of based on how they've portrayed her thus far. I think she'll need someone to run it, and she'll be, the brawn.
She could work with Allie, who is no longer part of the Thunder Force team.
Maybe. I mean, we know that Tracy did not kill her. She just knocked her out for a little bit, and we don't know where Allie went. So absolutely.
I mean, Tracy's not going to kill someone. Tracy's a child.
Right. Well, I'm going to say we say that in content, and then there's Lovecraft Country. So, I mean, like,
that's fair.
So I'm like, I don't know. I can't say that. So.
All right. If there's nothing else we want to make sure we touch upon, we can rate this.
Let's rate it. Let's get straight to the rating. So I feel like I know where you're going, but surprise me maybe. How?
All right. So here on Super Lady Hero Hour, we rate everything on a scale of poop to kittens. And I absolutely love this. So obviously I'm giving it a kitten. It's fun. It's actiony. There is like a really nice friendship storyline. A big thing I love is seeing diverse bodies on screen. And so seeing a superhero that looks like Melissa McCarthy, that looks like Octavia Spencer, that looks like Taylor Mosby, I love that. I love seeing that. I want more of that. I recommend this to everyone. What about you? Poop or kitten?
You did surprise me because I thought you were going to give it a bucket of kittens. So I am surprised. However, I'm definitely going to give it a kitten. I had a great time watching this. It was super funny. I'm definitely going to recommend it to my family because actually my mom's a huge Melissa McCarthy fan. Like she just thinks she's so hilarious. So I think that this is something that she'd really enjoy. For me, in addition to always loving to see diverse bodies on screen, I love seeing diverse age groups. And so I love that we get in, and they make fun of the age in the film, but I love it, like women in their 40s kicking butt, taking on a new leaf in life because it's never too late to go after what you want and do what you want. I appreciate that message in this film. I loved the friendship dynamic. There's even a bit of romance. And, I just think all around it was a fun time. And so I 100% would recommend people watch it just going in with a light heart. Like this is not a serious film. This is not supposed to be like you are not going to write a thesis on this. This is just to have a good time, enjoy seeing superheroes in their element, and enjoy some familial drama a time or two, because I'm going to call them family because that's definitely what they are in this film, even though they're friends. But yeah, so great.
Awesome. So if you're watching this, then you have definitely seen Thunder Force on Netflix because we just spoiled the whole thing for you. But we will be back on our regular date and time here on Super Lady Hero Hour on Wednesdays, talking about all the other superhero shows that are currently on TV because there is a lot. But until then, Kay-B, where are you and where can everyone keep up with you?
Yeah, so just follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, The Lady Kay-B, TheLadyKayb. And, join us here, of course, on this Wednesday for Super Lady Hero Hour. We're going to be at, regular time, 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern. And we are going to be talking about the usual suspects, but Batwoman and Black Lightning are going to be back from hiatus. That Batwoman hiatus was literally 1 week. So I was like, that came around fast. But Black Lightning's been off for about a month now. So, and this is going to be the backdoor pilot for Painkiller. So we are excited to dive into that. And so until Wednesday, Yael, where can everyone find you?
I'm everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. I will be streaming on Twitch on Mondays and Wednesdays, twitch.tv/Yael Tygiel. That's my name. We'll be playing Zelda on Super Nintendo. Also, Monday is the Winona Earp season likely series finale. It's tonight, but we will be discussing it Monday on Amber Plaster's YouTube channel. But you can check out my Twitter or that's where I will announce it. Yep, perfect. That's it. That's my news. Thanks, everybody.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys for watching, and be sure to check us out on Wednesday.
All right, bye.